The Ukrainian counteroffensive has broken through Robotyne. 11 weeks after Ukrainian brigades launched attacks along several main axes in southern and eastern Ukraine, including an axis running through Robotyne to Russian-occupied Melitopol, soldiers from the Ukrainian Army's 47th Brigade raised a flag atop a building in downtown Robotyne. Another 80 kilometers to Melitopol is on the T-0408 road, but the Ukrainians have momentum. The next major strong point after Robotyne is Tokmak. It is a direct road to Melitopol and the Black Sea coast. If Ukrainian troops are going to reach the coast and cut overland supply lines to Russian-occupied Crimea, they could do it here, along the fields and wooded straits of the road to Melitopol. Two brigades lead the march, the 47th and the 82nd. The Army's 47th Brigade began the assault on Robotyne in early June. The 47th and its partner, the 33rd Brigade, suffered heavy casualties in the first few days. A disastrous attempt to breach a minefield north of Robotyne on June 8 cost the brigades 24 of their best Leopard 2A6 tanks, M2 infantry fighting vehicles, and Leopard 2R minesweepers. The 47th recovered from the minefield debacle and fought on. The brigade took advantage of the excellent night optics of its Leopard 2 and M2 and attacked at night. As the assault battalions ran into the Russian trenches, the M2s held up holding fire with their 25mm autocannons while the infantry advanced at full speed, lobbing grenades. The powerful 82nd Brigade of the Air Assault Force, with Challenger 2 tanks and Marder and Stryker armored vehicles, joined the fight last week. It added enormous firepower to the Melitopol offensive, preserving the momentum of the Ukrainians at a time when the heavy losses of the 47th, including dozens of M2s, threatened to slow down the attack. Although the deliberate attacks by the Army and Air Assault Force on Melitopol are not as conspicuous as the Marine Corps tank and truck races along the Mokry-Yaly River Valley, 100 kilometers east of Robotyne, they are not less effective. It is popular among some American experts to describe the Ukrainian counteroffensive as failed, stalled, or misplaced. But Robotyne's release underscores the truth. The Ukrainian military is slowly and steadily driving the Russian military out of Ukraine. A Russian counteroffensive along a single axis west of Kreminna in northeastern Ukraine has so far not marred the Ukrainian advance. How much of their country the Ukrainians can liberate before the counteroffensive ends and Russia's broader 19-month war against Ukraine enters a new phase could depend on the quality of Ukraine's reserves. By the 10th week of the counteroffensive, the fresh 82nd Brigade was on hand to reinforce the more worn-out 47th Brigade. But which brigades will reinforce the 82nd in week 20? There are uncommitted brigades in the Ukrainian order of battle, including the 61st Army and various territorial and National Guard brigades. And Kyiv's foreign allies are organizing large shipments of additional weapons, including dozens of spare Strykers and M2s, plus M1 and Leopard 1 tanks and future F-16 fighters. And perhaps most importantly, Ukrainian artillery batteries, refitted with NATO-style guns and rocket launchers and stocked with shells sourced from American and European factories, have maintained a constant bombardment along the 600-mile line of the front, directly supporting the attacking brigades and aiming at the same time at the Russian artillery itself. Ukrainian gunners have shot down more than 3 Russian artillery pieces for every Ukrainian artillery piece shot down by Russian gunners. Deliberately going after the most dangerous weapons, the Ukrainians have destroyed a third of Russia's pre-war 2S4 siege mortar force. The degradation of Russian artillery could weaken Russia's defense and bolster the Ukrainian offensive. The Ukrainian advance in the Robotyne area brings Ukrainian forces closer to launching operations against second lines of defense that may be relatively weaker than the Russian first defensive line in the area, the Institute for the Study of Robotyne Warfare noted. Washington, D.C. Thanks for watching.